Hi, I'm here for a live Q&A. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat. In the meantime, before anybody writes anything, I will do a collective reading in case nobody asks a question, which is totally fine too. I'll just tap into the collective. I I have this regular deck of playing cards, and I put the sort of tarot meanings on the cards just to. But then I ended up doing the wrong ones on one of the suits, and then I had to cross those out and do that. It's not very professional looking. Anyway, I don't really need cards anyway, but I might go back and forth between them just for fun, because so far it's just me here. All right, so I'm just gonna tap into the collective and look at my dog down the hall. What are you doing? Okay. All right, I'll tap into the collective. What is helpful today? I don't know what, sometimes when I tap in the collective, I get a lot of food, dietary information, and I kind of feel like people are eating too much meat. There's easier things to digest for sure. And I think I read one time, actually the amount of meat you should eat a day is this much, the same as a deck of cards shape, you know. So not that much. That would be one hamburger patty size of whatever, or fish or whatever. So that's a big thing. So you don't want to stress your body out, and there's enough going on in life. You don't need to trip your body function over just because the sensation of eating is gives you pleasure or something. You have to think of after the fact. Okay, are there any other messages besides that today? Okay, I get this feeling of people wanting to argue, and it feels like this sort of prickly cloud of, I guess, words that would come out of somebody's mouth. So I'm just going to focus on that for a second, get more information. Yeah, I just feel like sometimes you might not even know what you want to say, and you're just saying stuff because someone asked you a question. And it's really better, even if you feel emotional, to just go sometimes people like to hear back what they said to you, to know that you heard them. So if they're saying something where were you last night? Or what, something like that. You can say, where was I last night? And then you can just say whatever. If you feel like the answer's too complicated, you can just say, this conversation's matters to me, and just right now I'm either busy or overwhelmed, and can I get back to you in a couple hours and we can have this discussion. Right now I'm in the middle of doing whatever I've been doing. Maybe that's too wordy, but you know what I mean? You're putting off answering, but you're making them feel heard, and you're also not saying anything mean or matching their anger. Because people can be, it's this one time, it was during COVID, shutdowns and stuff, it was hardly anyone's out on the street and stuff. And I got off this empty bus. And I was walking to my apartment building, and then this guy who was I don't know, 25 or something, who to me he just looked like a university student who just had the rug pulled out of him, and he was high on something and just feeling lost and angry and whatever. So I was sort of viewing him compassionately at a distance, but he was like running towards me and saying like, I'm gonna effing kill you, you know. And so I didn't match his vibe, like his mood, what he was saying and stuff. And I'm not like good at martial arts or anything like that, so I'm not gonna. And he was bigger than me and younger and stronger, so like, and high, so like I wasn't gonna take him on physically or whatever. So the best thing I came up with was to just like really connect with kind of like a Jesus kind of vibe, like unconditional love, total acceptance, and non-judgment. And I just like looked at him for a moment in his eyes when he said something to me. He was maybe a foot away from me when he was yelling this at me, and he looked like he meant it. And I just gave him that look of like, you know, if you can give a look and a lot of information in like 1 or 2 seconds, that's what it was like. And so it was like compassionate, patient, like understanding, like just non-judgment. And it just kind of made him freeze for a second, and then I just kept walking, and I was like, I'm not going to look back because I don't want to continue this conversation. And then he just stayed there for a second and then ran in the other direction, knocking stuff over and screaming and whatever. So it's kind of like important when someone's mad not to match their energy. Like if they're offering you this sort of scene from a scary movie, you don't have to like be in that movie. You know, say I was like lucky in this instance, but really it was like the smartest thing I could do at that moment, considering I had no other means to protect myself other than intense compassion. So, yeah, so in terms of someone being mad at you, and sometimes like people can be mad at you and they're still kind of like in love with you, or like, you know, codependent people who demand attention, but then they turn around and say, I'm sorry and I love you and I'll never leave you. And like, you know, that kind of like ridiculous highs and lows kind of people. So even if someone's mad at you, but you know deep down, like, oh, they'll get over it, you know, you still don't have to match their energy, and you can kind of just find that center place that I was talking about, that I used that mood to diffuse the moment with that guy who was like scary, and just go back to neutral, and just say like, yeah, it's really, you know, let's talk about that, but can I do that in a couple hours? And then you can kind of get your thoughts together about where you are with this person, where you want to go, and you're not like feeling pressured in the moment and like doing some kind of table tennis match of emotions that are like can spiral, or, you know, you just don't want to get into that. So you want to let the, you know, the intense waves like calm down to flat first, and then talk about something, you know, seriously, and like let the person know that they're being heard. Like sometimes that means repeating back what they asked you. And you're also allowed to not know the right answer for even like a while, you know. And you can just say, yeah, these are really important things you're bringing up, and I want to think about them. And, you know, I'm going to get back to you on that. And then, you know what I mean? So when someone's engaging a fight, like you don't have to like, just don't match that energy. Is what I'm trying to. That's a message for the collective about like not just automatically spewing things defensively to feel like you're not being attacked. Like you don't have to see someone's criticism as an attack, even if they say it in a very clumsy manner. You can kind of go like get like a, you know, if you're at the beach and you have like a sieve or something, and you know, you shake it and then you get like the big rocks stay in the screen, and then the soft sand falls down the bottom. Like you can kind of sift out the heavy emotions and still like get what the message was they were trying to say without being like trying to get engaged in like a power thing. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's more powerful to just like allow someone to be in their feelings and just not match them. Because then it lets them see, like, oh, maybe I'm overreacting because, like, I'm yelling at this calm person. Why? You know? Like, so there's no other comments. So I'll just, like, think of one more thing to say to the collective, and then I'll sign off. Yeah, and the message I'm getting, it has to do with, like, objectification of female energy and stuff, or, like, female, like, body stuff. Be really aware of the damage that you're doing, like, sort of psychically or whatever, by objectifying someone physically. And, like, don't be the person that, like, demands, like, photos of someone physically, or just, like, maybe some people think, treat that stuff, think it's like nothing, or it's so common that it's nothing, but it is something, and it's can be very destructive. And do you really want to be one of the people contributing to that, kind of, whether you're the female or not, in this case? Like, do you really want to partake in that choice, and does it really like produce the end result you want, which is like either love, attention, friendship, approval, whatever it might be? So just try to think about, like, well, how would I act if I was like 95 and I wanted to make friends? Or, like, you wouldn't demand of like new 95-year-olds that you meet to like be trading a bunch of photos and stuff. You'd be more like interested in how they think, or what their life purpose is or was, or whatever. And those are kinds of discussions you can have now that like really it's a different kind of picture. You're getting a picture of their soul, like, so it's that kind of thing. Like, you'll get an even better picture of like who this person is by asking them deeper questions. And because like physical stuff, I know like people are highly visual and they, that, but like someone who looks a certain way today might not look that way like in 6 months to 3 years or whatever. So it's like pretty fleeting. But so in terms of like getting to know new people, really don't go there first. Let that be like a discovery, after, and really try to like focus on who is this person I'm dealing with. Because like one aspect of just being surface is you might get like kind of hooked on somebody on a surface level, and then find out that their personality is just like abhorrent, like terrible, like the worst, and then you're kind of stuck because you've been like intimate, or it's like you got in there pretty heavy, and then it's like, how do I get out now? Like, so it's just really better to explore their personality and their dreams, and really who they are first, if you can be that patient, because like you don't want to be part of this moment in time where everyone's kind of acting a bit trashy. And I'm certain that won't continue. Like, it's like one of those things that it's like, oh, that's so 80s, or that's so 90s, or there's something about right now that's so like 2020 that like will seem stupid later. And one aspect of that is that kind of Snapchat, like really surface kind of behavior and stuff. So just even though it's everywhere, just don't take part in that, or like be the person who like actually cares to get to know people first. that's another message I get. Since I have these like goofy cards, I'm just gonna choose a couple before I go. And if anybody who's tuning in like has a question, I can give a quick answer. So we're looking for messages for the collective. Oops, okay. Anybody? I don't know if you can hear my dog eating. Okay. So we have like the Ace of Diamonds. So that's like the Ace of Pentacles. So it's like a material gift, a letter or a message, an improvement that's coming. That's nice. We have the Two of Pentacles. Maybe these are all like a message together, so I'll just spread them out, these three cards. Sweet. Okay, so it seems like this, kind of immature-ish, the kind of earth energy is going to come, like it's Pentacles here, Knight of Pentacles. So it's like, it's still an offer, but it's like a youthful offer of like something stable, or it could be like meeting an earth sign person coming forward with a gift, but this person's also juggling. So like it's like they want something pretty basic. It's kind of like a friends with benefits type of offer that's coming forward. I feel like. No, thank you. And then we have, but I guess for some people that might be what they want. So then we have, this was upside down. So like it was the Ace of Swords. So it's like the truth is coming out. So the truth, I feel like in this case, is hidden. And then we have the Two of Swords. That's like the blindfolded person with the two swords and this arrow. So it's like a tough decision. There could be some deceit. It could be change coming, and use your intuition for this situation. So yeah, if you're feeling like there's secrets, this could have to do with this person with this kind of lame offer. Yeah. So use your intuition about you feeling like someone's being dishonest. And we have this like selfish, ambitious, older King of Swords. Someone's like really determined and being sharp, like a bit harsh. It's this person that is lying, and you need to use your intuition in this case. And it's having to do with like a argument that's going on like right now, or an obstacle that you guys are working through. So, and this person might come forward with a kind of like measly offer. That seems like they're presenting it like a gift. But it's actually like serving two purposes, and like they're being dishonest about what that is. So just like watch out for someone being kind of sketchy / bossy and like offering like not what you want. It's always a good idea to like really check in with yourself and know like what's my life story like? Is it beautiful? Is it full of like mastery and like growth and self-understanding and like self-love and inspiration and adventure and whatever. Like you decide like what the themes are for your life, and then you decide like, well, is this character like welcome in my story, or like do I need to be cautious about what they're offering? Like really be protective. What I'm trying to say is like be protective of the world that you're creating, and be like, it's like Studio 54 in its heyday. It's like you're the bouncer and the disco. So it's like if someone uncool, who isn't being nice to you is trying to get into your disco, you can just be the bouncer and like, no. And otherwise the theme of your disco will just be all over the place, and it won't have that like cachet that will make your disco world famous. People still talking about it, even though it didn't last that long, but it was still like, awesome. So I guess right now there's no live questions that came up on the chat, so I'll just like close out the reading. And thanks for joining me. And please like, share, subscribe if you feel like you want to. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.